Okay. If you have a question for Coach Manning, can you go ahead and please use the raise hand feature? Or you can chat me privately, please. Let's start with Jacob Richmond today.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing pretty well, thanks. So the last two times you got a second chance at a Big Ten team, you guys came in with wins. Can you talk about, from a coaching standpoint, and you and the rest of your team as you kind of fit into your new positions, how kind of preparation for those games has if it's gotten easier for you guys, and just how you feel like that's kind of led to helping you guys on the court?
Well, basically the preparation is still the same in terms of, we show our video edit, we give them a paper scout, we walk through plays, we guard plays live. It's just a little bit easier the second time around because there is a level of familiarity, if you will, in regards to the team that we're playing and the individuals that are on that team. And so, I guess playing them the second time, you're just not going in cold turkey, so you have a better feel for them. I don't know if that answered your question, but I mean, the prep for us stays the same in regards to what we show them, how we show them, what we walk through, what we guard.
Ryan McFadden.
Hey, Coach. My question is for you. I was wondering, how's Q's hand doing from the last game against Illinois, and is he expected to be full-time playing on tomorrow?
He practiced today the full time. That's all I can tell you. Obviously, if you go out there and you get it whacked again, it might be a little bit different, but I don't expect any different from him. I expect him to be available like he was today at practice.
Bruce Posner.
Hey, Coach, couple quick ones. Number one, how happy are you with the way that all of a sudden Dante Scott is enforcing his will? And I'm sure that's something, as far as paint touches go, and it's even helping his outside shooting. And number two, what do you do about Ron Harper Jr. after the way he played against us last time? I mean, how much emphasis can you put on one guy? And he played at a different level the other day.
Well, I'll address Dante first. I thought Dante had a really good ball game. He made some shots from the perimeter. He got to the in-between game. There was a lot of perimeter to post work in terms of catching the ball, backing down, getting to your spot. And with Dante's size, with his skill set, with his athletic ability, we feel like that's a tough cover for a lot of different teams. And he certainly had an outstanding game the last time out. So we want to see that continue to happen, Bruce. Ron Harper Jr., Keegan Murray, Kofi Coburn, Geo Baker. There's a stud or a couple studs or a few studs on every team in the Big Ten. And, Ron Harper really played well against us last game. He's shooting the ball at a very high clip from the three-point line. We have to make him shoot contested shots. We've got to make sure we don't let him get any easy ones to get himself going. But he's going to score the basketball. Their offense is designed for him to score the basketball, him and Baker in particular. We just have to be there to contest shots and try to force him to take a lot of shots to score points. And sometimes that's easier said than done. And he had his way with us last time. So we've got to be a little bit more formidable and disruptive to his offensive flow, especially for him playing on his home court.
Joe Yasharoff.
Hey, Coach, last week included a bad loss at Michigan and a good win against Illinois. What did you see from your players in terms of how they reacted to each, and what have you kind of taught them about being a pro and not getting too high and not getting too low?
That's Big Ten basketball. You're going to go out and you look at teams and you any game that you play in the Big Ten, you don't know what the outcome is going to be because the coaches are really talented and run good stuff. They're talented and good players, and that's just what the Big Ten is all about. And so, we understand that. We want to get better each time that we step out on the court, and we do that. Sometimes it's, the lesson is when we're in film and we're watching our mistakes, figuring out what we can do better to eliminate those mistakes. And then for us, we've got to go out and do things that we're capable of doing to give ourselves a chance to play. We've shown that we're capable of playing with any team in this conference from tip to horn, but we've got to maintain that same mindset for every possession. And it's one possession at a time. Our guys have had good energy. I think we've come out and we've shown a lot of grit and determination throughout the course of all the games that we've played. We just have to do that for the duration of the ball game and figure out a way to come up with the win at the end.
Go to Sam Ostry.
Hey, coach. Last time you guys played Rutgers, you had a great first half and you kind of collapsed in the second half. What can you take away from each of those halves that you can try to repeat and then also maybe try to avoid?
Well, Rutgers is a very physical team because of their size. You know, I think Geo Baker's 6'4", and he's the smallest guy in their starting lineup. So they're a physical team. They do a terrific job of guarding actions, especially on the first side. And so for us offensively, we've got to get the ball moved from one side of the court to the other. We've got to be able to drive closeouts on ball reversal and get paint touches. I think when we play our best, the ball touches the paint by the pass or by the dribble. And then we make good decisions from there. Once you get to the Big Ten logo, you got to be ready to shoot it or pass it. And, you know, we've got to be ready and understand what the defense is doing and make good decisions when we get it there.
Sean Stepner.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. As we move through this season, before we know it, it's going to be February, end of February, getting into March here, and knowing where you guys are in the standings and coming off a win and the way you guys played last game, do you feel almost like you guys are like right there, like you guys are ready to maybe put a little bit of a win streak together, maybe get back-to-back wins? I mean, how do you feel like your team is kind of attacking this next game, trying to, you know, make some hay in the standings here?
Not to shy away and not answer your question, it's one game at a time, right? Big picture, yeah, we got 12 left plus one guaranteed for sure in the Big Ten tournament, but it's one game at a time. And that's how you put together a good streak of basketball. Meaning when we're out there on the court, we want a baseball analogy. Get on base any way you can, get hit by a pitch, get a single, right? Take another single. Somebody can move the runner for sacrifice fly, then come up and get a double. We want to go station to station. That's the mindset, right? And so you carry that over in basketball. It's possession by possession. We're worried about the very next possession. That is our mindset. We want to win that possession. And then we want to think next play. What do we have to do to win the next possession? And that's kind of what we talk about throughout the course of the ball game. You want to play, we always talk about tip to horn. The tip, and then you got to play to the horn and whatever's in between, whether that's a double overtime, triple overtime, you got to figure out a way to make it work. And that's where we want to keep our head and our minds in terms of what we need to do to be successful.
Do you feel that, just to follow up, do you feel that your team is approaching it that way, that they are kind of building that way?
I believe so. You know, I think, like I said earlier, we've shown that we're capable of playing anybody in this conference. We just have to make sure that we're winning the majority of the possessions. You know, all the games that we've lost, they're tough losses and they're hard lessons. You want to learn from your lessons, but we also know that if we clean up a few mistakes throughout the course of those ball games, it could lead to a different outcome, where we get the result that we want, which is a win.
Make it fear. Last question, please.
Hey, Coach. You had mentioned, you know, guarding guys like Ron Harper and things like that, and just game planning ahead of that. And obviously, last game you guys were able to switch your defenses between man and zone a little bit. And I guess just seeing, you know, when you see Fats come away with 4 steals, I believe it was 6 or 7 Terps that had at least 1 steal. But do you feel like just mentally that helps the preparation, kind of going against Rutgers, who obviously, like we said, last matchup, second half, they kind of were able to take over?
You know, I think the biggest thing for us is defensively having great awareness and being in a stance defensively and having active hands. And I say that because, you know, I can watch film and all the other coaches in this league watch film and we can say, okay, they ran this play, they ran this play, they ran this play, right? But when they go into a timeout, come out of a timeout, it could be something drawn up. To start the game, it could be a new set of plays. And so for us, it's playing to our principles defensively. But the first thing that you have to do is have great awareness. You have to be in a stance and you have to be ready. And then your hands have to be active. When our hands are active and we talk what we're doing defensively, meaning I've got the ball, I've got help, I'm in a gap, I'm on the weak side, we're really in tune and good things happen for us. And so for us, we have to have that mindset mentally every possession of locking in and communicating to our teammates.
All right, thanks, coach. Appreciate it.